Hey guys, I think I'm live. I just had a little tech problem, but I think I found a little workaround. I am just gonna check and make sure I'm live. If you guys are here, say hi. I'm excited to chat with you guys and hang out. Can you guys believe January is gone? What's happening? We're about to be in February. I don't know. It feels like this year has been 10 years long and also 10 seconds long at the same time. Let's see if I can find myself on my channel. Here we go. Live. Okay, let me see if it's okay. Good. I see me. Hopefully, you guys see me. Hi. Okay, good. Yay, yay, yay. I did see a chat for a second and then it closed it. That's not very nice, YouTube. Do you guys see a chat? Do I see a chat? There we go. Okay, we're doing it. Hi, guys. Welcome to Startup Grounds, the show where I was going to drink coffee, but I'm actually drinking Red Bull, where I drink caffeine on the internet and we set goals and intentions and talk about random, fun life stuff. I hope you guys are having a good week. Oh, I have something very important while we're waiting for everybody to come on. I was going to make a new intro video. Okay. I was going to make a new intro video. And so I went into Gemini, and which is like an AI, right? And it generated this video. I think it's not in here anymore because I had to reload everything when the tech glitch happened. But it made me think because it had a spelling error in it. It looked ridiculous, right? If you guys made anything in AI and you're like, this is like not even close. This is like so bad. It made me a video that was so bad. And it made me think about showing you guys. I thought while we're waiting for everybody to come on, I'll show you guys some of my AI photo fails I've made. And the last one is a headshot of me that is like the worst picture I've ever seen in my life and probably going to haunt your dreams. You guys want to see that? So let me give you my AI photo fail tour while we're everybody's getting all settled in and everything. So first up, Matt and I got engaged in Vienna on a red bus, on like one of those tour buses. And we don't have any pictures of that day. I was really sick actually, and we just don't really have any pictures of us being engaged or getting engaged. So I was like, let me go on Gemini and make some engagement photos for us. And who is this with my husband? That does not look like me. Now, granted, when I got engaged, I had red hair. So, but like that is not me, like in that photo. That's my husband. That is not me. Okay. The next up, you guys can vote for your favorite photo fail. The next up is from when we did the New Year's live stream. Was anybody on the New Year's stream when we did it? And I made some like new graphics and stuff. Also, not me. I feel like this one is closer, but like I don't know. There's something about the mouth or something. It just does not look. It looks fine. It just doesn't look like me. Okay, now I have the grand finale. This is the most cursed photo I feel like I've ever seen in my life. Hopefully, you guys will appreciate it. Oh, wait, I've got to close all these out. What's happening? There we go. Can I make it bigger than that? You guys that are listening to audio, I don't know. You should look at the replay on YouTube. It's worth checking out. Let's analyze what is going on here. What happened, like, to my face? That's my hair, but like, what is happening? I look like a cursed, like, baby troll. So those are my AI fails. I just thought I would share that with you guys. I thought it was funny. I mean, is this not the most cursed photo you've ever seen in your life? I don't know. So that's on that. Let me know if you guys have had any AI fails. If anybody has any tips on getting, I did get some like good AI engagement photos of us actually that looked cute. But if you have any tips for recreating. Oh, and then before we start, the other most important thing for you guys that are here live, this is like two-way, what is it called, like two-way mirror. They can't see in here, but this is a bird feeder, and so you guys have to let me know if you spot a bird in the bird feeder. Okay, so that's like a really important job on the stream. We're gonna set some intentions. I want to hear how your guys' week went. Let me pull up my stuff. We have the tracker still up for grabs, so if you guys go onto startup startupgrounds.faithmariah.com. You can put the secret word from last time in there and it'll punch your coffee card. And then on this stream, I'm going to give you the second password. So there's two punches you have to get this month. But if you unlock both of them, the one from Monday and the one from today, it'll unlock this habit tracker. And it's really cute. It has like cute little flowers. AI never really gets my face right, and there's always something about the eyes in AI photos that throws me off. The last one looks like one side duplicated on the other side, except the hair. Usually those pics look unnatural since we are naturally asymmetrical. I don't know what it was doing. I don't know if it was like in some kind of goblin mode. I don't know. But that is, I feel like such a cursed photo. It's like me, but cursed. I don't know. I was like cracking up looking through those. Let me pull up my little guy and I want to debrief the week with you guys. So on Monday, we went through the whole thought model. Were you guys here on Monday? Who was here on Monday and who's just coming in now? You can definitely just come in now. You don't have to have watched Monday. But for you guys that were here on Monday, I want to talk about how the week went. We set some intentions, right? So you guys picked one thing you wanted to get done, an action you wanted to take. Remember, is this all coming back to anybody? You're going to pick we're going to talk about your one goal. And then we also talked about what feeling and thought could fuel your actions you need to take. Remember, we like jumped all your actions out in the chat. And then we were thinking about what thought feeling combo, I was saying that's your action fuel, right? Your thought feeling combo are you going to use this week? And so we're going to do a debrief and just reflect back. If you use that intentionally throughout the week, that's awesome. I'd love to hear about it. But if you just kind of watched it and forgot it and went about your life, it's totally fine. We're going to go through here anyway, and this will still hopefully be useful. And then at the end, we're going to set intentions for February, which is crazy. That's so cool. I was wondering about that in the window. I'll keep an eye out for birds. Love birds. Yes, I am boycotting Amazon, but this was an Amazon like impulse purchase. I saw somebody on Instagram had one and it comes like into the window. So they like come in here. I'm obsessed. I talked about this last time, but I feel like I turned like 39 and I was like all of a sudden very into bird watching. I don't know if that's like comes with age, if that's just Faith Mariah specifically. So you guys tell me in the chat, how would you describe your week in one word? My week, I feel like we had really weird weather here. A lot of places had weird weather. Is there any other weird weather? We are in Florida. Matt and I live in northern Florida. It is usually very lovely here. And it has been nice, but it's been like weirdly cold. But I just keep feeling like kind of sick. And I can't tell if I'm sick or it's just like pressure from the weather stuff or allergies or what is happening. But it's been like weirdly cold. You guys, okay. I saw on this is like, oh wait, I put a here, this is like a tangent within a tangent. I put a little tangent alert sign up. So when I go on tangents, you guys can put in the chat and I'll put the tangent alert. I saw on the weather, there's a 40% chance of snow here tonight, tomorrow night. Yes, Saturday night. 40% chance of snow in Florida. What is fucking happening? I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. What? What? I don't know. I'm never going to be able to move up north. I was raised in South Florida. This is like the coldest I've lived in a long time. And I'm just going to have to die in this state. Like Matt and I talk about moving. I'm like, I can't. It's too cold. Okay, so that was my tangent. I had to tell you guys, though. I mean, come on. It's going to snow. How often does that happen? It's probably not really going to snow. It would also probably melt immediately upon hitting the ground. We're also near the ocean. So typically if there is snow in Florida, it's like northern Florida and it's like inland. We're like 2 minutes from the beach. So I don't know. That's very strange. So I feel like for my word, all of this, long story long, I think for my word, like just because I was feeling kind of low energy, I feel like I was really in like a rest mode. What's a good word for like rest? Recharge? I think my word is going to be recharge. I spent a lot of time working, but also just like laying around and doing nothing, watching TV, reading books, journaling. I spent a lot of time resting. So I think my word is going to be recharge. I did work out a couple times, which I actually feel good about because I didn't want to go full force into my like working out like routine thing because I felt like that was going to be setting up for like a big fat failure, right? And so I was like, let me just kind of work at it little by little. And I feel like since I didn't feel good and I still did two little workouts, I feel pretty good about that. I think that's good, like a good start. And hopefully I could just keep building on that week after week. Let's see. You were here on Monday, here on Monday. Okay, I love it. You guys are coming back. Awesome. One word, roller coaster. Yeah, was anybody up and down? Dana loves the tangent alert. I feel like we need that. I want like to have like a sound effect for it too, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But yeah, you guys let me know. How would you describe your week in one word? Let me know what was happening for you. And then tell me, did you hit your goal this week? So did you hit your goal this week? I'm honestly like not sure exactly. I think my goal was just to work out. I think I was gonna try for 3 times, but I think it was just like to work out more than I did have been, which is not at all. So I feel like my goal was work out more than zero. That's a good goal, right? And I did that. So that's good. And I was resting and doing a lot of work. So it's funny, like thinking back, and you guys let me know if you feel like this or if you feel maybe the other way where you're like, I didn't get a lot done. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I didn't really do that much this week. Like it was kind of a waste of a week. But now that I'm talking about it and like really thinking about it, I'm like, no, I actually like did do a lot of stuff this week, right? It wasn't as much as maybe when I'm all the way productive, right? But I did get some stuff done and that feels really good actually. You did hit your goal. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome. You guys did hit your goals. What were your goals? And then tell me, let's do this one. What stories did your brain tell this week? So when you're thinking back on working on your goal, you guys that hit your goal, I would love to hear like what thoughts, what stories, what narratives did you use in your brain to take that action? And then you guys can borrow each other's thoughts too. I love doing this. We do this in the mastermind all the time, but I'm like, we'll be on a call, be like, everybody borrow that thought. It's a really good, somebody will say something, we're like, that's a really good thought. Right. So you guys can share in the chat and then you could borrow each other's thoughts. But I'm curious, like, what thoughts and feelings, but and especially like stories, like what stories did you tell this week to create that result? And it could be it's there's only like kind of two outcomes here in this scenario, right? There's like we hit the goal or we didn't hit the goal, or maybe we didn't have a goal. Some of you probably didn't have a goal if you didn't come on Monday, right? But if we're looking at if we hit the goal, what stories did we tell that created that result? And then if you didn't hit the goal, what happened in your brain that created that result? The key to this is you've got to come from a place of curiosity. So we're just gathering data. It's just good for us to know what happens in our brain. It doesn't mean anything about you. So our brains love to be like, I didn't hit my goal and I am a failure and I always do this and I never finish anything. It doesn't mean anything about you if you hit your goal or not. It's all of us sometimes hit our goals and don't hit our goals. All of us sometimes tell ourselves shitty stories. All of us sometimes tell ourselves good stories. This stuff is all neutral, right? So if you're tempted to pick up the beating stick because you didn't hit your goal, right? I would offer to you, like, can you shift to a place of curiosity and kind of neutralize, like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything about you as a human. It doesn't mean anything about your potential. It just means like we told some stories and we got some results, right? We thought some thoughts and then those fed our actions and the thoughts and actions created our results that we have. We just want to be very clear about what is creating those results. Like, what is the story? What is the action? Like, how did we create it, right? I think it's really easy to go, week to week, day to day, month to month, kind of get to the end of the year and not really have a great understanding of what outcomes did I create and what happened in my brain when I was creating them and how can I uh, replicate that, right? So I coach a lot of online business owners. Probably a lot of you guys are entrepreneurs. And I just totally lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I talking about? It'll come back. Yeah, let me drink some more Red Bull. We're talking about being an entrepreneur and doing something. Let me read the chat. Yeah, celebrate progress. Yeah, totally. One thought I had, I'll feel better once this is done. That's a good thought for everybody to borrow this week, right? I'll feel better once this is done. One thought I had, I'm excited to send this email. Yeah, right? It could be like you're excited about the task. I'm excited to share this. I'm excited to do this thing. I'm excited to have it done. Like there's lots of things that we can find in our life to be excited about, I think, which is always nice. So we just want to like check in and kind of give ourselves that reminder that our thoughts, right? Thoughts and feelings are fueling our actions. And we want to look at what actions did we do this week? What results did we create? What actions created those results? And then what thought and feeling kind of fueled those things. So you guys can tell me in the chat what feeling did you want to create this week? So we did this on Monday. If you did this on Monday, you can tell me like what feeling did you want to create? I think mine was like committed. I didn't think I really used commitment that much this week. I think I used I didn't feel like super intentional about working out. I didn't feel super committed to it. I really didn't put that much energy into it. I think I was coming from like a easier feeling energy. I don't know. I'm having a hard time coming up with like the one word emotion that I was feeling when I was taking that. I think, hmm, not comfortable, not committed, maybe like a little bit determined. Does that feel a little more chill? Committed to me seems a little intense. Like, I guess I don't feel like I was like, I'm committed to doing this no matter what. I think if I hadn't felt good those other 2 days, I also wouldn't have worked out. So I don't think that I was like, when I get committed to something, you guys know, it's like fully on. I didn't feel like that this week. I felt um, like I was willing to do the work, but if I didn't and I needed more rest, I definitely would have done that instead. I would not have worked out like instead of like resting or whatever, even though it probably would have been helpful, like just because I have this like head cold stuff. I feel like sometimes working out actually is helpful for that because it kind of like, I don't know, like loosens everything up. Oh, let's see. I wanted to feel confident this week. Yeah, I felt calm. I felt somewhat focused. I felt very grounded this week. I guess the word, I think for me, the feeling was like grounded. I felt really grounded in like my day to day experience. I felt really grounded in that I did want to prioritize working out, but if I didn't, I wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was going to be a huge deal for me. Does that make sense? And then what thoughts created your feelings? So when I think about, I felt like calm, right? Committed. What thoughts? I think it's just like, the thought I used was like, I'm just going to do a little bit. Right. And another thought that has helped me a lot that I'll offer to you guys is like every little thing counts. So I think my brain and probably a lot of our brains really love to tell this story about like we need to do these huge projects and we need to do this big stuff. Otherwise, it just doesn't matter and it's not going to make a difference. Right. And I've been really working the last year or so on kind of feeding my brain like evidence for this idea that like everything adds up, small things add up, every action counts, everything is forward movement and forward energy. And so for me, like just as long as I'm taking forward movements towards getting healthier and living a healthier life, that's kind of like my goal, I guess, right now. And the thought is like I'll just do a little bit, right? Because if I think about, especially when I have like a headache and I'm like, ugh, like my throat yesterday was all fucked up on the call and stuff, and I don't feel like great, right? So I don't feel super motivated to work out, but I'm like, well, I could do a little bit. I'm not like that sick. Like I could do a little bit, right? And so just doing these like little workouts, and I think that's kind of going to be my goal for the next year is doing these like little micro workouts that are just like, especially because I work from home and Matt now has a work from home job too. So we're both working from home full time now. And I think we're going to do some like little exercise breaks and stretching breaks instead of making it like a big thing. I think sometimes when we make things into like a big project, it just feels very overwhelming and difficult. And thinking about going to the gym for an hour, like, I don't want to do that. That sounds like the worst to me personally. But if I'm like, I can do a little bit, like I could do 10 minutes, like a couple times a day, like, and it would make a big difference over time. Even now, like my brain is like, well, that's probably not enough. It's like, no, no, no. Like every little thing adds up. Small things count, big things count, everything counts. And I've really been working on kind of uh, building that belief, right? I love this idea of like you can believe new things, right? You can believe new things. And so it's like, what belief do you want to work on building? One of my beliefs I'm working on building is every small thing counts. I have an app coming that's a planning app that has a building belief section in it. I just built the other day if you want to do that work. It's not out yet, but I'm hoping it will be out in the next. If you're in the mastermind, you can beta test it now, but it's not going to be out for another month or two. Yeah, let's see. My thought was, I'm good at this. That's a good thought, right? That's a very good thought. Let's do. Okay, I want to talk about energy leaks and then we're going to set intentions for February. Y'all ready? Let's do. I want to do this. I want to do this so I don't run out of time. So, our brain thinks leaving things undecided conserves energy. I want to talk about this idea of like energy leaks and indecision, right? I coach a lot of people that are in indecision because when you're an entrepreneur, there's no formula to follow, right? And so when you go to school and you go, usually even in a lot of jobs, like it's kind of like, do these things. This is how you be successful. You turn in the papers, you get this kind of grade on a test, and that is how you're going to be successful. And then you go to your job and you get your job description, and usually they train you and they're like, you do these things, you get these kind of results, and that's how you are successful. Entrepreneurship has like no map and it's very different for everybody. It's very different, like industry to industry, niche to niche. And our brains often want to make the right decision, right? Because that's what we're taught in school and at jobs. It's like make the right decision, do the right things, get the right outcome. And so then we'll spend a lot of time being like, I need to do this the right way. And what that creates is a lot of pressure. And then we go into indecision. And I'll see a lot of people with open loops, meaning in the back of their brain, they're like, maybe I should do a course, maybe I should do a webinar, maybe I should do a podcast, right? Or if you're doing like a workout stuff, it would look like maybe I should do Pilates, maybe I'll do spin, maybe I'll just start walking every day. Maybe it's like that stuff that's like, it's not big stuff usually. It's like little stuff that's undecided that sits in the back of your brain. And I just want to offer to you guys, like, we can close that up now. And so we're going to do that in a second. We're going to talk about like, what do you want to close up before we go into February? It's about to be a new month, right? Really good time. Just make all your decisions. Okay. Just make decisions. I think being decisive has served me really well. I think it's one of the things that has made me a lot of money is that I'm willing to just be very decisive and I'm willing to be wrong about things and get that data and then adjust as we go, right? I do mitigate risk. So I'm not someone who's taking like crazy big risks and I'll try to limit risk as much as I can. And I'm also aware of what I'm risking and what I'm willing to risk, what my bank account can afford to risk, what my personal life, like time wise, can afford to risk. And I take calculated risks, I would say. But I want to offer to you, like, we could just close all the open loops now. I think this is just such an interesting idea. Like, what if we just made the decisions? And I have a couple, like, little tips. So, the next question that I had was, like, what's something you want to officially be done with? So, let's just make, oh, there he is. Did you see him? This is going to be like an ADHD nightmare having that bird in the background. What's something you want to officially be done with? We're going into February. Let's make a decision, right? Deciding not to do something is a decision, right? And I think the more decisive you are, the more those energy leaks like seal up, right? I think when things are undecided and it's like, maybe I'll do this or maybe I'll do that, even if you're not focusing on it that much, I think it's in the back of your brain. And I do think it leaks energy, right? So we can make a decision like, I'm just not doing this anymore. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to be done with. I Let me think on it some more. Something you want to officially be done with. I think I want to be done with this story about like I'm someone that struggles with working out, right? I have that whole like narrative. I just want to be done with it. Like let's just close it. Like I don't there's just like a story that doesn't create anything useful to me, and it's something I've created a lot of evidence for, right? But I don't necessarily think that that's the ultimate truth. I don't think it has to be true for me. I think uh, something another thing that I find interesting is like this idea of like we can decide like who we want to be, and I can decide to be someone that doesn't struggle with that, right? And then it's like, well, what would that look like? What would that person think? How would they feel? And then it all it is just practicing staying lined up with that version, right? Keeping your thoughts, feelings, actions lined up with the version of you that doesn't struggle with working out, or the version of you that does get their email out every week, or the version of you that does make like however much money it is you want to make, right? And so when you guys think about like the results you want to create this year, the version of you that already has the outcome, that already has like whatever your big dream goal is for the year, right? What does that person not fuck with? What do they not fuck with? Like, what do they not have time for? Right? Like last year, I closed up some friendships I had because I was just like, I'm done. Like, putting energy into friendships that it's not reciprocated. Like I'm just done with it, right? And it felt like it was leaking my energy and a big energy drain, and I just closed it up, right? And it's like I'm just not available for that like anymore, right? I want to be done with using the I'm too tired excuse. Yeah, I think it's like interesting, right? That I'm too tired excuse. And there's like there are times where you're tired, right? I'm not like here to like indoctrinate like hustle culture, right? Like I think there's enough of that. Like I don't know. I feel like there's lots of like I feel like white men really got that market cornered. I'll leave that to them. I'm not fucking getting in no ice bath up at 5 in the morning. I tell you that right now. So I'm not someone that's like indoctrinating hustle culture, right? But I do think it's interesting to check in with yourself because a lot of times when my brain is like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm too tired to do that. I'll do it later. I'm too tired. When I really check in with myself and I'm like, okay, Faith, like, are you really too tired? Like, do you really need rest right now? And a lot of times the answer is like, no, I don't. Look at ah! Sorry, podcast listeners, you guys aren't getting to see the cute little birds in my bird feeder. I this is going to be so distracting for me. I'm going to have to do something about this when I get off this call, so I'm not watching birds all day on my calls. And then so there's things you can decide to be done with, and then like what do you want to decide to commit to? So here's something interesting, right? That's like what are you ready to like stop fucking around with? Like meaning like you guys ever do the like dabbling stuff? I've do this with working out, right? This is like my example, but working out for me has been something I've continually coached myself on for a long time. And so that's where I have a lot of examples, right? And I don't want to talk about business on this show either. So I'm trying to like stay away from business examples, right? But I could just decide to commit to working out 3 times a week or every day for 10 minutes or whatever it is. And I could just be done with um, struggling. And I think commitment closes up energy leaks. So here's something interesting, right? What I found when I was like coaching myself on this before, I was going to the gym at the time, right? I would spend all day like negotiating if I was going to go or not, right? It was like maybe I'll go later, maybe I'll go this evening, maybe I'll go twice this weekend and I'll skip today, or maybe I'll. It was just like even if I had planned a time, I was still like debating in my brain and negotiating with myself all the time. You guys do negotiations where it's like, oh, maybe I'll send like 2 emails next week, or maybe I'll go like twice this weekend, or maybe I'll do like whatever. It's all that negotiating. And what I found was like it wasn't the working out that was so uncomfortable for me and difficult, it was the constant negotiation around it. And so I got really committed at that time, and I was just like, I'm working out every day at this time, no matter what, no negotiating. And I closed it, right? So I do think we can close energy leaks by deciding this is just something I'm not fucking with anymore. I'm done with it, whatever. And then I do think we can also commit to things. I do think people should decide to be done with things faster. I think we tend to let that stuff linger open a long time, where it's maybe maybe you said in January 1 you wanted to start a podcast or something, right? And now you're realizing with your kids back in school, with everything going on, you're like, it just kind of gets pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. And it's like you could make a clean decision that I'm not going to do this till the summer, till my kids are back in school, and you could be very clean and close that up. And what that does is then you're not walking around thinking, I should record a podcast, I should record a podcast, maybe I'll do it next week. It's like you get all of that energy back in your brain, right? Which I think is really interesting. So I think those are like two powerful ways to close those energy leaks. You got to get like in a decisive mode, right? You got to put on your like not fucking around pants. And then that's a professional term. You're not fucking around pants. You gotta put your not fucking around pants on and make some decisions, right? And like call some shots and be like, what am I done like thinking about? What am I done like having kind of open? What am I done with? And then what am I just going to commit to? And I'm not going to negotiate anymore about if I'm going to do it or not, or how I'm going to do it, or when I'm going to do it. I'm just going to make a clean decision about all of that. And then that's it. And so then the next question I had is, what is something you want to park? And here's what I mean by that. I think you can decide to be done with things, right? And we can decide to commit to things. But there's often this like middle ground. I coach people on this a lot where it's like, let's just park that until next quarter. So I like 90-day planning. It's my favorite. It just works really well for me. My brain looking more than 3 months out gets totally overwhelmed. 3 months seems like a very manageable time to me to plan and manage. But what we'll do when we're doing the 90-day planning is like, let's look at it in Q2 and let's park it until then, right? So some things you don't have to decide right now, and deciding when you're going to decide or when you're going to think about it again, that also is a decision, right? So you're not in the energy of indecision anymore. You're like, I'm going to look at it in April. And then whenever your brain is like, maybe I should be recording a podcast. I should be doing, you're like, I don't need to worry about this right now because I'm going to look at it in April. And you can literally like even make a Google calendar that's like park ideas or something, like your parking lot, and put on your calendar like when you want to look at that stuff again. I do it in my 90-day plan. So I have like a list of stuff I want to look at when I go make my plan. So you can be done with things, you can commit to things, you can decide to park things. So it's funny because it's like the decision, even just making the decision to not decide right now will get energy back for you, right? So making the decision, I'm going to think about it next month. Or sometimes I'll coach entrepreneurs and they're like, what if it doesn't work? I don't know if it's ever going to work. I'm like, well, like, how long do you want to try, right? And it's like, well, let's try till January. And when we get to January, you can look at how it's going. And if you think you've got some things working, and we can make a decision in January based on that, right? And now that decision is closed. So every time their brain is like, what if it doesn't work? I don't know if it's ever going to work. It's like, well, I made a decision to look at it in January. So I'll look at it in January. And then you can go about your time, right? So you're closing up that kind of energy leak and that open loop. I do think being decisive gets a lot of energy back for you if you're feeling really drained. Usually when I'm feeling really drained, I need to like sit my ass down and make some hard decisions, right? And sometimes decisions are hard. Like, I mean, I think our brains like to fortune tell. They like to try to be psychic and know the future, but the reality for all of us, unfortunately, is like we're not. We don't know what's going to happen. So sometimes you just have to make a decision and see what happens. Our brains don't like that because that's a lot of uncertainty, and we're not really designed for uncertainty. So here's the one I thought was interesting. January was blank. We're going to go into setting some intentions for February now. So January was blank and February will be blank. I think for me, January was restful. I did a lot of stuff in December, and really all the way up to Plan Like a Boss. So my month was kind of weird because we did that big, I did a big business planning retreat where it was like all day. It was like 10 to 4 or something. And I made a new app for it. I made all new assets for it. I taught it a different way than I have before. So up until that time, I was like really working a lot. Once that was done, I kind of switched off and I've just been like resting since then. I tend to work in cycles. This is another good thing to think about as we're thinking about what results we want to create this year and how do we make change. It's like, do you work in cycles? Do you do better with like kind of a steady management? So like I have some clients where if we manage their energy and they don't overexert themselves, they do a lot better. They're able to like get more done, right? And some people like me work better in cycles, meaning I do better like working really hard for a bit of time and then kind of resting and being more in that energy for a bit of time. And so I think for me, the last few weeks I've been like kind of in this resting energy, and now in February, I'm ready to pick it up. So I think for me, I really want February to be focused. Maybe that will be my theme. Like, I want to be focused. I want to get a bunch of projects like uh, off of my plate. I want to do like a big push and get some things like done. Like, I want to be done with that app and get that launched, the 90-day planning app. And I want to get our ad funnel. I'm working on a new ad funnel. I want to get that done. So I think for me, January was restful and February is going to be productive. Should I do productive or focused? What do you guys think? I think I kind of like focus because it starts with an F. I think it sounds better. But I think what I'm really wanting is to like close a bunch of stuff up and finish some projects that have been open for a while, right? Sometimes I'll just be like, I am fucking done with this taking forever. Like, it is going to be done like next week. Like, projects will just be open and things can take a long time because we all have a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff to balance. And I'll finally just be like, I am done with this, like, just not being done. Like, it needs to be done. It's getting done. I'm over it. And I'll make, I guess, a decision to be very committed to getting that shit done. Let me see. I want to commit to eating healthy in the evening or eating nothing when I usually indulge in junk food. Yeah, that's a good one. What thoughts do you have to do that? That's a good one. I am I love like an after dinner treat. That's like my favorite. I don't know if I can give that up. After dinner treat and like coffee creamer, like the sugary coffee creamer. I just think it makes my life better. I don't know. I guess what we need to do, Jessica, maybe me and you, we'll try to find some like healthy snacks, or like I need a healthy after dinner treat. You guys send me your healthy after dinner treat options, please. January was stressful. February will be restorative. That's a good intention for you, Megan. January was a clusterfuck. February will be intentional. Yeah. Some of us, I think, probably feel kind of chaotic. I felt like that, like I'm saying, probably till the 10th of the month. I felt like pretty chaotic because I had that event we were promoting. I was making all the assets for it. We had just come off of holiday. You guys know my website crashed. We had a whole tech problem. It was like fucking debacle. And so I feel like, after all that, then I started resting. So I get it. I had some clusterfuck things happen too, right? One word to describe how you want to feel in February. I want to feel, like I'm saying, I think focused. I just keep coming back to focus. Like, I want to be more focused. I have been getting a lot done and working a lot of things, but I've also been like dabbling around a lot. So sometimes when I'm in those, like, I'm not really in that focus hustle, like I'm getting shit done mode, I'll just kind of let myself like dabble around, which I think is fine when you're resting. But I can't do that all year, right? Like the business, nothing will get done. So I want to be more focused and not like dabbling around doing like random things. I really want to sit down in February and think very intentionally about like what are the outcomes I want to do this month. The other thing I want to do is get back to using my paper planner. I just feel like I feel better when I do that. I had been super diligent about it, and then when the holidays came and the website stuff happened, it all like kind of all my routine went out the window. So I want to bring that back in February. That's going to be a focus of mine. I think my main things for February are just going to be doing my little micro workouts, doing my weekly planning in my planner, my like physical. I have this planner from Laurel Denise. Have you guys heard of this? If you go to her website, you'll get like all her ads that'll show you her stuff. I'm trying to clear off my desk so I can show it to you. I love this fucking thing. I think this is like the coolest. So look, this is like the first week of January. You can see where I stopped using it. So it goes like this on my desk. But then what's cool about it is like this is the month, right? But then this part moves, and this is like your weekly. So it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can see your month and your week at the same time. And then this is like notes. I love that. I think it's so good. And it fits really well. This shape, I was like, why are they so weirdly shaped? Like, I feel like I've never seen a planner shaped like this. It's like a rectangle, but it actually is really nice for having, like, I just leave it open on my desk, and I feel like it fits really nice, like in front of your keyboard kind of a thing. So I'm not an affiliate of them or anything. I just really like the planner. They are a little pricey, but I feel like, nice planners kind of tend to be that. I got this one on sale. They do these sales periodically where they will sell dated planners. Like it'll be like, I don't know, like I got the one I got was dated for July to start in July, and I bought it in like September or something. And so I'm redating it because half of it is for last year. So I'm like crossing out all the dates and redating it. But that's a good planner hack if you want to save money on expensive planners. Buy a dated, like expired one when they go on clearance. And then they have stickers with numbers on them. I just redate them or just write over them. Let's see. I found a burnout healing program, but honestly, I'm not ready for that yet. So I parked it. Oh, I like that. Good decision, right? I saved it under my bookmarks, and when I'm ready to come back to the biz, I'll have that resource. I love that. January is messy. February is going to be focused. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that too. One word for how I want to feel: empowered. Yeah. Please add to face favorite page, please. Okay. I used to have one of those. I don't know what happened to it. We used to have one in Notion. It was like a database of like everything we use because people would ask all the time. People don't really ask me all the time what I use anymore. I don't know what that shift is about. There was a time I feel like online where people just constantly like, and maybe it's just because the marketing is so saturated. People constantly online, no matter what you did, asked you like where you got everything from and what you use, and like constantly like anytime you talked about anything in an email, in a social media, even if you weren't trying to sell it, they'd be like, what is that? Where do I get it? I feel like people don't do that anymore. I think it's probably just because there's been so much marketing online and people are just kind of tired of it. But that's kind of an interesting like shift that I've noticed is like, but I could make a favorites page for you if you want, for sure. What's your one thing for February? I kind of want my one thing to be getting back to my planner, but I think my one plan probably really needs to be getting my app like done and launched. So I think that's going to be my one thing. I also want to do ad funnels. Which would be better? I'm going to pick our ad funnels because that I think will bring in money faster. This app is like, I don't know. It's going to take a while for me to figure out like for it to be profitable, but I'm having a good time like learning about it. And I feel like it's doing what it needs to do. I just need experience like building different tech stuff. I'm really interested in like building software, building like I want to have digital products, but not necessarily like coaching and like courses, the stuff that I've done for a really long time now, like 10 years, right? But I'm interested more in like, yeah, developing software for programs. I'm interested in like developing software that helps people take more action. I think that's kind of interesting. And then it's like if we took everything that we coach on and the concepts and frameworks that we teach in my programs and in my mastermind, that we've been using to help clients, it's like how could we put all that in an app? And that's kind of like what I'm making now is like the beta version of that. What we're going to do is I'm making it all just like You guys know I'm not like the most tech savvy person in the world, but they have these apps now that will code for you. You just tell it what you want it to do. And so I've been using that. So I'm going to make the first version of it, and then I'm going to test it and see if it's something people are interested in, if it could be something that we could sell that people would want. And if it is, then we'll invest more money in it and develop like a probably like a better 2.0 version of it. Oh, yeah. Okay. February one thing, Next Level Life Bundle. Yeah. Who else? I'm hosting the Next Level Life Bundle. So if you guys are an entrepreneur or you know any online business owners, we like to feature healers, crafters, health and fitness people, people that help moms, like any kind of good resources we can put together for people to help them improve their life. And then if you guys go to the Next Level Life Bundle, there's so much good stuff in there. Really, like I'm really proud of like the resources we're able to put together for people, and it's free only for 4 days. So you definitely want to be on the email list. You want to be on the Empowered Slacker email list for that one. But we have all kinds of like coaching programs and journaling stuff and workbooks and templates and like digital planners, like all kinds of really cool resources. And so everybody that has an online business, your one thing should be applying for my bundle. Oh, let's see. You can do it. Yeah. Faith's events are the best. Yeah, thank you. Thank Kelsey. Kelsey's does a good job. I'm really excited about our next couple of events. We're testing some really cool stuff, so I'll let you guys know. I want to feel as thankful. Ooh, I like that. Chantel, I like that a lot. Thankful. Yeah, we can all do some gratitude grounding, right? Something I'm very proud of, January, filling out my 1 line a day 5-year journal every single day. Wow. I've tried to do those so many times and I've like stopped after 3 days. So that to me is very impressive. And then what do you want to focus on to create that feeling? So we've got this is the last one, and then I'm going to give you guys a password. We've got like your one thing, right? So when you think about that one thing you put in the chat, what do you need to focus on to be able to create a useful feeling to get that done, right? Like what's a useful place to take your brain? What do you need to focus on to get that done? So if I'm thinking about, I want to get my ad funnel done as my one thing, I think the feeling that I need to focus on, I need some kind of urgency. I think the problem with me with these ad funnels is that when I do the live events, you guys are like here. Like I can't not do it now, right? And when I'm doing a course or a program or we're doing an event where I'm very good at like being accountable for stuff like that, right? Or deadlines and that type of stuff. But with the ad funnels, like nobody's waiting for it. There's no like real there are consequences, I guess, because it's taking forever for me to get this funnel up, and that's probably arguably costing us money and making our revenue for the year lower. But there's no like immediate consequence. And so I need to focus on not doing it later, on doing it now, right? Because I think when things don't have deadlines for me, my thought process is like, oh, I'll do it later, or oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I think what I need to do is like channel that what I've been using for the exercise, which is like I'm gonna just work on it a little bit every day, no matter what. And it does need to get done. Like I've kind of been in this place of it where it's like my energy around it has kind of been like, if it doesn't get done, it's whatever. Like, you guys have any goals like that? You're like, if it doesn't get done though, like I'll try to do it, but if it doesn't get done, meh. Like that's kind of been my energy around it. Which is that like looking back on that, is that surprising that the ad funnel's not done this month? Fuck no, right? Like that all of that tracks. It's like, yeah, that was my thought. That was the feeling. It created the result of the ad funnel still not fucking being done 3 weeks later, whenever it was I started it. So maybe what I need to do is impose like some kind of deadline where it's like, you only have a week to do this. Like you do not have 3 weeks to build a landing page anymore. So funny how stuff does expand like that, because I can sit down and make a landing page in no time. We do it all the time. Like we do a lot of events every year. Like I've done a lot of shit in my career online. I can put that stuff together pretty quickly, right? But it's so funny when we give ourselves like all the time in the world and we don't have the urgency. It's like all of a sudden building a landing page and some emails is taking me literally weeks to do, which is so insane, right? But if you look at like what I was thinking and how I was feeling, it makes total sense, right? Because I'm thinking my thought about it is like it's not that important. My thought about it is like there's a lot more important things I should focus on. You guys have any goals like this where it's like, meh, like it's like I know it needs to get done and I want to get it done, but my thoughts about it are creating this energy that's very like disconnected, that's very not unfocused, like maybe unfocused, but it's just kind of like allowing it to take a long time. And yeah, it all I think that's really interesting. It like all lines up. My one thing for February, rest. That isn't sleep. Ooh, that's a good one. Finding new ways to rest and get some energy back in addition to getting enough sleep. I have been working on my sleep. I will say my husband Matt has like the most strict like routine for sleeping. Like he goes to bed at the same time every night and he does the same things every night. And I'm such a chaotic nighttime nocturnal like little gremlin. It's really good for me to be married to him because I just follow his routine and that has helped my sleep a lot. But I don't know that I would be able to do like maintain a routine like that without him. I just whatever that is that he has, it's like must follow routine. I don't have that. I have like I don't know. I like novelty. I really like change. I like thrive in like kind of change and new things. Right? Probably from that dopamine from my ADHD. Let's see. Ignoring the drive for perfection. Yeah, that's a good one. Focus on getting it done versus getting stuck on making it perfect. Right. So that's a good one too, where you're looking at, like, if I were looking at my ad funnel and I'm like, it needs to be really, really good. It's like it creates this pressure cooker. And when you play out like how that feels in your body and what is happening in your brain, it makes a lot of sense that I you don't want to do whatever that thing is, right? It's like, oh, and it's all created in your mind and what you're focusing on. So if you can change your focus to like, I'm just going to get a version done, right? I'm like, just get the most half-assed version out. I think that that is something that has just like been invaluable to me as an entrepreneur is like just being willing to be bad at things, like being willing to do like the 1.0 kind of version of things. I am like a dreamer, visionary type person, right? I need to do my human design. You human designs on here. What's like the dreamer type person? That's what I am. And so even this show, when I was talking about wanting to do a YouTube live show again, I wanted to like rent a studio and like fly guests in. And like this is the truth, okay? But I'm like, that's never gonna happen right now. If I wait for that, could be years before we do the show. But can I put my webcam on and like come up with some topics and like come chat with you guys over coffee? Now? Yeah. So I really love the idea of like what's a version of like your dream or your goal that you can do now, like a tiny version, or like I call it like a half-ass version, right? Like what's the half-ass version, the non-perfect version, the 1.0 version, and then you can make it better over time, right? Like we could do add stuff to the stream or we could get guests for the stream or whatever I want to do. Like we could add to it over time, but at least like something is happening now instead of just waiting for it to all be perfect. Okay, so let me do this so I don't forget to show you the password. The password is Friday. And if you guys are on the podcast, I don't think I put the episode. I didn't do it very timely. So if you're listening on the podcast, you're probably not going to be able to get the free one for this month anyway. But there's more free stuff coming next month. The password is Friday. So you've got to go. Here, I'll show you. You got to go to Startup Grounds. And let me see if I can pull my screen up. It's not saved for some reason. You go to startupgrounds.faithmaria.com and you put in the password Friday, and then it will punch your virtual card for the month. If you get 2 punches this month, it will unlock that habit tracker that grows like a cute little flower. I just like stuff like that. I don't know. I always think like I'll use stuff like that for like a week or two and it just is like exciting and fun, but I don't know. I like it motivates me and it feels good. I just think it's fun. So I like handing that kind of stuff out. So that is that. Let me see. What else do I need to tell you guys? Apply for the Next Level Life Bundle. Here, I even have a graphic of it. Here you go. Go to startupgrounds.faithmaria.com. The password is Friday, Friyay, all one word. If you put it in a space, it's not going to work. Everybody say it with me. If I put in a space, it's not going to work. If you're an online business owner, apply to be in the Next Level Life Bundle. We would love to feature you. It's a good way. You're going to get your work in front of thousands of potential people. Like, we always have like at least a few thousand, if not more than that, even, because Kelsey's really like hammering this stuff out now. So yeah, I will don't have the schedule yet for February for Startup Grounds, but I think I'm gonna try and do 2 live streams a month. So I will put them on there is a schedule that's on the startupgrounds.faithmaya.com. I'll put it there and we'll email it to you guys once we get it finalized. If you guys have do you guys have any ideas for topics? Which kind of topics should we do? What do you guys want to talk about for February? You know, we could talk about focus. It seems like a lot of us are focusing. I like talking about rest, but we just did talk about rest in December. You guys let me know if you've got any ideas for topics. I'm all ears. Y'all if you're on YouTube, would you do me a big favor and hit the thumbs up button? That really helps my channel. Thank you. Can I ask a favor? I'm like, while you're here, if you could subscribe, hit the little thumbs up, leave a comment on the stream after the video saves, like that kind of stuff really helps our channel grow. And I'm excited to like make more videos. I do have on my docket to record some YouTube videos and podcasts. That's the other thing I want to do for February is like start bringing back. I want to bring back the podcast. I did the first episode, I think last week. And then this week, like these were kind of the episodes because I was doing 2 live streams this week. Next month, it won't be like a Monday and a Friday. It'll probably be, I think I'll probably do like a halfway through the month midpoint check-in in February. And then we'll do like an end of the month, like debrief celebration party, maybe. You guys want to do that? That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I got to come up with all the themes and the graphics. My perfect dream. I glide through a cloud of relaxation and never feel weirdly stressed out about not being productive. Half-ass version. I feel stressed and don't make that a problem. That's good, Megan. Yeah, that's really good, right? I feel stressed and I don't make that a problem. Yeah, we talk about this in the mastermind a lot, but it's like those additional layers of suffering or like optional suffering. So it's like I can be stressed out, I'm not doing enough, and then I can make that mean all these things about me, right? Where it's like I don't get enough done and I suck and I always do this and I'm never going to be successful. Those are all like kind of the optional suffering, right? Because the reality is like stress is part of the human experience. Like I really don't think you're going to go through life unless you're a lot more enlightened than most of us. You're not going to go through life and not experience stress. So it is kind of an interesting thing to ask yourself, like, what do I want to make stress mean? What stories do I tell about stress? Is that useful? What would I like to think instead? It takes time to develop this stuff, right? Our brains do not shift like overnight. It's for a lot of things. Sometimes they do, but for a lot of this stuff we've thought over and over again, right? Like if I'm not being productive all the time, I'm lazy. And we've been kind of indoctrinated with that kind of stuff. But you can, by asking yourself and like questioning your thoughts and being aware of your stories, like that stuff like starts to kind of wiggle that stuff loose where you can build the new beliefs that you're wanting to build. Let's see. You are awesome. Oh, you guys are being so nice to each other in the chat. Bird. You guys are on bird watch patrol. Oh my gosh. They're cute, right? I have like 3 different kinds now. And they also like all hang out in this little tree outside my window now. I'm like so happy. Like all my dreams are coming true. I feel like Snow White. I'm like, am I Pocahontas? Kind of. I will talk to you guys soon. Watch your email. I will send updates about the next live. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I just want to keep doing these streams all year and we can all kind of stay connected to our goals and our vision and what we're creating. I think it's nice to just kind of take that time to like reconnect with how I want to feel, what do I want to create, and we'll just be here all year. So I'm excited to do that more with you guys. Thanks for being here. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.